Right. Well, it'll be interesting to see these matchups. I guess Westrice will be heading top, so that is going to be very, very interesting. Westrice is going to be picking up Corky, and it looks like Mashme
Mashme will be
playing
either going mid or
Cassiopeia.
top, and Celsi will either be going mid or top. We're not entirely certain who's going where.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of wondering. Actually, I am actually wondering at this point whether they're going to run solo Corky in a lane or not, and try and get some early kills with Mashme on Cassiopeia. Sometimes you do see that with Brand, for instance, or with Karthus in bot lane with a support. Typically, though, it's a more aggressive support like Leona or Alistair. I know
Uh-huh.
that Goose, aka MTWNA, does run occasionally an Alistair Karthus bot lane, and you do see Brand occasionally bot lane as well. So we'll have to see if this is definitely a kind of unique strategy, and we're going to have to see how they play it. There's not a lot of theory crafting we can do, because I at least have never seen this before.
I don't. It's everyone's getting thrown for loops. Certainly not an objectionable team comp by any stretch of the imagination. With a Cassiopeia ultimate and all of the CC that Nautilus can put down, they're covered as far as team fight CC is concerned. Whereas CLG, they've got the knockups and everything from Janna, the slows. There's slows all over the place, and then of course the Udyr stun and the silence from Kassadin. So it's it's a pretty you don't see much in the way of CC stacking. I've noticed in these tournament games that we've been casting so far.
Well, I mean, Epik has run CC stacking games before, and Epik in general likes to run the double APs, which, if you run Kennen, tend to be a little CC stacking heavy
That
from time to
indeed they
time.
do.
Yeah, and I'm just taking a look at CLG's lineup right here, and it looks like they're going to be trying to kite very heavily. I guess that's what they're moving for here, is a kite team with the mobility that's offered from Udyr and Kassadin and Nidalee. It should be very easy for them to kite and poke and do damage. So I think we're not going to see very many direct engagements from this CLG squad this game, more dashing in and out and trying to pick their opponents apart bit by bit and getting them to overcommit so that they can kind of collapse on them. I'm, John is always a great choice for Protect the Cog. Other than that, though, I will admit, slightly concerned about how they're going to keep people off this Cogmaw, because their only real form of hard CC is that very short Udyr stun from bear stance. So we'll have to see how successful Double Lift is at positioning himself.
And also the tornado as well.
The tornado as well. That's true, but that's pretty unreliable because it's a skill shot. So
Indeed. And the Janna ultimate, which I definitely suspect I can see situations of a Nautilus initiate and then Nautilus initiates in, Janna ults to get everybody out. I can see something like that going on.
I mean, that's true, too. And honestly, we don't have great initiating factors on either team. I mean, if we look at Epik, you pretty much have to land that Cassio ult in order to hope that you're going to get any kind of initiate going down. So it'll probably be a lot of footsies this game. I don't think we're going to see a ton of kills.
No, probably not. But again, it's rare to see a ton of kills in pro games and in the tournament games in general, as we've noticed. I think, which I don't remember, because we've done so many games now, I'm having trouble remembering which one exactly it was that was the bloodbath.
That would have been, I think that was, let me try and remember very briefly. I think it was Choppa in Dakar against...
We didn't... I don't think so, because we never ended up casting Choppa because they bailed on Dignitas.
Oh, that's right, they bailed. It was Books Are Cool versus Just Your Average Joe.
That's what it was. Books Are Cool and J-Edge.
That's right. They actually managed to... Oh my god, that was a crazy game. There was a fight in mid lane that did... I'm trying to find... Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to change up my scroll speed here so it'll make it a little easier on you. Give me just a second. We're seeing some pings go down over by Dragon.
Yes, we are. Definitely pings on Dragon. And it looks like we're fanning out to do the anchor spread that usually these teams like to do, where as has been popular of late, where it's just everybody doing this sort of thing across the map, and it looks like both teams are moving into that formation to protect both entrances to the jungle. So I'm not sure we're going to see any invades here, which is wise considering neither team has really any level 1 hard CC to speak of.
Well, and you
You
can,
know,
I mean, St. Vicious has already taken Phoenix stance, so you can tell pretty much that they're not committing to a level 1 fight. Otherwise, I
no,
imagine he would have
certainly not.
taken that bear stance first. And this is the line of scrimmage, as I call it.
Indeed, it is. We're gonna see the ball get hiked from the center, and we're gonna see a lot of the running game in these early stages for sure.
So I'm curious what kind of runes Salsi is running. We don't want to check that after the game. I'm
We
interested to
will.
see if he's running the spell vamp quints that Scar likes to use on Mordekaiser or not. And it looks like we are going to see Mashme in bot lane with Soraka like I thought, unless Westrice is just fooling. But that should be a very interesting lane, and
We have Saint Vicious and Hotshot now moving into Epic's jungle. It looks like they are going to try for some Wraith Stealery. And there goes Saint Vicious doing his thing, that aggressive jungle style that he likes to do, taking those initial Wraiths relatively unnoticed.
yeah, they have been seen. There was a CV that went down from Soraka right there.
And we're going to see them go immediately for the red. We have Westrice and Salsi in position to counter this red steal at level 1. There comes Salsi in from the jungle. He's going to throw down the Siphon and the Hot Shot. Udyr, St. Vicious is going to pick up the red, and he's going to have to flash the wall to not get killed. But level 1 red steal by St. Vicious on Udyr there with the help of Hot Shot. So those two of them really function very well together, and so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch that happen.
Yeah, you can tell from Udyr right here. You should look at his move speed. He's already up at 411. That boots first Phoenix build, making you very, very quick, allows you to do some good ganks, and that does mean that he has move speed quints on if he has that 411, and Jonas' passive is picking up the rest.
Yes, he does, and that makes him look. 411 movement speed at level 1 is just too much.
Yeah, and it allows him to clear the jungle extremely, extremely quickly as well. So.
Glenn, you couldn't be any more opposite Nautilus with his 324 movement speed.
And here comes Nautilus right now, looking like he's.
Speaking of Nautilus, he's going to come around for LP now. He and Mordekaiser are going to try and make something happen. We're waiting for the dredge line here with LP. He's going to get that silence ball down. Nautilus is going to bust the Riptide, and he's going to make LP flash. So LP's flash. LP and St. Vicious both have their flashes down at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately he hadn't taken dredge line yet. He had the shield and the Riptide, so he wasn't going to be able to secure that kill, but some extra damage. It's going to make it even harder for this Kassadin to farm in mid lane. I mean, it's already difficult. He's going to have a hard time getting close to that minion wave.
And Mordekaiser just an absolute brute, being able to push minion waves. It doesn't matter how much you beat on him, he will be able to push minion waves always.
You know, and I think what ended up happening in this game was that they were planning to run Cassiopeia mid, but once they saw that Kassadin pick, I think that they just switched it up and made a move for Cassiopeia in bottom lane so that they could win mid very hard.
Definitely. Well, but you're looking now, you see double lift as Kog'Maw, double lift and Choster bot lane. Mashme is already at, thanks to that Soraka heal now, Mashme's back at half life. But beforehand, double lift and Choster just going to town there.
Yeah, and he is down 12 to 26 CS right now, so that's a pretty significant difference. And that Kog'Maw, if he gets farmed, is going to be an absolute terror late game.
Kog'Maw is, not to say that this is an issue at this level of play, but Kog'Maw is basically idiot-proof. Once he gets to a certain point in the game, it's pretty much impossible to stop him from killing at least 2 or 3 people in a team fight, just because of how much damage he can do from how big of a range. And at this level of play, when having to be idiot-proof is not such a big thing, Kog'Maw just wreaks havoc on enemy teams.
That's right. You know, he's not going to get that bad position, I don't think, from double lift. And so that's really what kills Kog'Maw. We're going to have a gank in mid here. St. Vicious comes in.
Yes, we are. St. Vicious comes in on Salsi, and Big Fat LP is there. The stun as the flash happens. There's the slow, and Big Fat LP is going to get first blood with the Null Sphere. Well played by St. Vicious coming around. And Mordekaiser's biggest weakness, as we just saw, is when he pushes that hard, we're going to see Westrice pick up a kill on a hot shot and barely getting out of there, as usually happens in these games. We find one kill and miss another. But Mordekaiser's biggest weakness is that he pushes so hard that he's very easy to gank, especially since he has no hard CC to speak of.
Right, and even with Udyr's flash being down, he still managed to secure that kill. And so we're seeing Westrice go ahead and blue pill right now, since he is very low from that tower dive.
Yes, yes, he is. And that was almost a kill for Hotshot as well. So that was a pretty dangerous maneuver that did work out. Unfortunately for Westrice, it did not earn him a first blood.
Yeah, I think a little bit of a mistake there by Salsi to be pushing so hard. Not like you can really help it as Mordekaiser, especially when you're facing against Kassadin. It is very, very easy to push. And Kassadin, if we look right now, he has 19 CS to Mordekaiser's 37. So Salsi, as you would expect, outlaning. I'm going to turn off chat for you guys. Outlaning his opponent, but Kassadin's one of those champs where if he can get a couple successful ganks off after he hits 6, all of that farm that his opponent has gotten in mid lane is useless.
It's true, and this is why Kassadin and Mordekaiser are such an interesting and sort of potentially dangerous matchup for both teams. Is that all Kassadin has to do is get 2 or 3 kills after he leaves lane, and he's back in the game, whereas you can kill Mordekaiser 4 or 5 times in lane. It doesn't matter. He'll come back, and as Skara proved in IEM Hanover, you can gank him as many times as you want, he'll come back and carry the game for his team.
Yeah, and Hotshot being chased back to his turret again by Westrice, that matchup proving to be very problematic for Hotshot. 25 CS to 38 from Westrice. So we are seeing a gold advantage here still for CLG, just because I think mostly of that bottom lane, but 2 of their lanes are having some pretty big problems.
It's really unfortunate. Hotshot just getting poked to shreds down here on the tower. Westrice basically just having his way with top lane at this point. This big mini-way, but here comes St. Vicious. He's going to run in on Westrice. He's going to bait around with that bear stance, and Westrice is going to have to Valk over the wall there. It's really difficult trying to... Corki's one of the hardest champions in the games to gank because of that. But we see Kassadin coming around. St. Vicious is going to flash over the wall. His flash is back up, and the Valkyrie is down. Kassadin right now, level 6, LP running through. He's going to get the silence, the slow, and the silence off, and St. Vicious is just going to keep on him, and they're going to pick up that kill. Really well played by Vicious and LP there. Hotshot was coming in to help, but his assistance was not needed in that engagement.
I'd also like to give some props to Nyat Nguyen for that fight. If you noticed, he popped the CV right up here around blue buff so that Westrice could see over the wall to make sure that there wasn't anybody waiting there for him as he valked over. Really nice teamwork, and unfortunately, it didn't work out in the end. And Big Fat LP is going to be coming back into mid lane with a blue buff, so that's going to make this lane go a little bit differently. And we do have some low champs here as bot lane does a little more damage. Double Lift is going to take some pot shots at Cassiopeia and get her low, but not quite kill her.
Yeah, when, Kog'Maw now, he's not even level 6 yet. Now he just hit level 6. The harassment is going to only increase from here as we see the Living Artillery and we see the Janna Shield with the Bio-Arcane Barrage. Kog'Maw just spitting on everything.
That's right, and just a little more footsies and back and forth. And it looks like Claky D is going to be taking that blue buff. I'm pretty sure he'll take it for himself, as Big LP is going to just blue pill out of mid lane.
Yeah, and unless Mashme wants to come up and get it, which he might do, considering he is Cassiopeia, but the movement doesn't appear to be. Nope, there's Claky D taking it for himself. So the score 2-1 right now. Exactly 1k gold in differential between the two teams.
And very smart, by the way. You saw another CV going down right around blue buff right there, and that was to make sure that once Kassadin left Mordekaiser's vision, that Kassadin was not waiting there to come over the wall to steal blue buff. So Nat Nguyen doing a really awesome job of controlling Big Fat LP's Kassadin in this game.
Speaking of, here comes Mordekaiser. Salsi's coming down into bot lane. We have a 4-man affair down here in bot lane. Chauster flashing out because he was probably worried that there was going to be some ultimates going down, which there likely would have been. Double Lift and Chauster both pressed up against their tower, and it looks like, yep, we're going to see a dragon attempt by Epik Gamer here.
Yeah, and they are going to be able, I think, to take that dragon relatively easily, considering that Westrice is coming down. But now engagement from Big Fat LP onto Westrice in mid lane.
Yeah, it looks like we see some mid lane shenanigans. CLG not really worrying about dragon as was repeated many times at IEM Hanover. Their philosophy towards dragon is there's no reason to contest it and give up a bunch of kills. It's just not that big of a deal to them. So they're going to let dragon go, and LP and Vicious not able to pick up that kill on Westrice, but they were moving towards it. Meanwhile, Westrice going back up top to hang out with Hotshot, who is building AD in Italy, it looks like, at this point.
We'll have to see. He might transition into AP later, but he's going to have a very late Rod of Ages if that's the case. We are going to see a kill in bot lane.
Wow, yep, there it is. We have the kill bot lane, Cassiopeia, Mashme picking up that kill on Chauster. the push looked a little bit too aggressive, and it appears that Cassiopeia's ultimate was all they needed. And Mordekaiser is on, or no, I'm sorry, Nautilus is on his way. He's going to get Cog with all of that CC, and Double Lift is just going to have to do as much as he can. He might be able to pick up, nope, Mashmi's going to flash and heal. So there's another kill for Epic Gamer on bot lane. And so the score is now 2-3, 400k gold in favor of Epic Gamer.
And that dragon really actually helped push them over the top there. They were down a little bit before that, but a very even game.
Definitely very even at this point. Hotshot now that he's level 8 and has gone back to purchase a few items, Westrice is no longer giving him the trouble he was before earlier in the game. Hotshot's able to push as he pleases, and he's really getting some nice damage on the tower and on Westrice.
Yeah, you know, this is I'm not. Oh wow, a kill there from Hotshot right onto Westrice.
He's just gonna go in there and do that because, you know, why not at this point?
Yeah, he's got to be careful that Claky D doesn't come around with those double buffs, though, and smoke him. He doesn't have very much mana.
He's looking for it right now. Here comes Claky D. Nautilus just running in there, but it doesn't look like he wants to tango with Nidalee at this point. So Nidalee just going to be able to keep going. There's the Riptide, and the Dredge Line is going to miss with the mobility of Nidalee being a little bit too much for Nautilus's slow reactions.
Yeah, I think that the build that we're seeing from Nidalee is...
Oh, we got a mid thing going on. We got St. Vicious landing the stun on Mordekaiser. He's going to keep going a little bit. We're going to see the Silence Ball, but no gank. No actual kill there.
Yeah, I was saying, it appears that the build we see from Nidalee is actually, I think, more of a result of the circumstance of being surprised by having Corki top, because, you know, you do see, according to her runes, she does have a little bit of AP in there somewhere. So it looks like Hotshot was planning to build, I assume, an AP Nidalee, and he may have just been delayed by the fact that his lane mate presented him a different challenge and was just counter-building accordingly.
Yeah, that's probably what it is, you know, at this level, counter-building is something that happens from level 1 as opposed to, you know, mid-game.
Of course.
But now we see here, we got Clacky D going back, we have Westrice getting back onto his tower. Westrice now has 73 CS, he's got his Vamp Scepter, a Ruby Crystal, it looks like he's going into Phage at this point. We have Hotshot, 78 CS, coming back to lane with the Phage already, so we're going to see a little bit of a different game here, top lane.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I guess he might be going Trinity Force, or he's just going to build tanky Nidalee with that Frozen Mallet and Atmas later. That's also a possibility if he's completely changed his build at this stage. We'll just have to wait and see what the actual eventuality of all of this is. And not too much action going on right here. Looks like they're going to let Mordekaiser push this tower a little bit, and that's the problem when you have Kassadin. He's going to be able to gank other lanes, and Mordekaiser pushes so hard that you're pretty much going to have to lose some towers in mid lane if you want to play Kassadin properly.
Definitely, but, you know, he's pushing, he's not, Salsi is being cautious, pushing, but not too much here, so it looks like he's going to head top to help Clacky D and Westrice deal with Hotshot, or maybe he's just going to do Wraiths, one or the other. We'll see. Vicious now hanging out in mid lane to farm that up. And we see Kassadin is now, Big Fat LP is in that bot lane bush.
We have a gank going on top as Nautilus drops his ult and Hotshot is forced to flash out. So nice play there. I don't think Hotshot will be going anywhere, though. I think he'll probably just heal himself up and sit by turret for a bit. In the meantime, Salsi and St. Vicious doing a little dance in mid lane.
Yeah, Udyr and Mordekaiser, two champions that really just don't care at all about whatever it is that you're doing, not caring at all about each other doing things. So there's that. LP coming in looking for a gank on Salsi as Vicious holds the lane. I don't know if he's going to get it. Meanwhile, Westrice top, still just beating up on that tower as Hotshot farms away a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm surprised St. Vicious is holding this lane. I guess they were hoping for that gank, but Salsi wasn't willing to commit. And they are going to see, with a ward, looks like, a ward that just expired, that...
Yeah, they're going to see Clacky D doing his blue buff. He's gonna pick it up. St. Vicious is going to pick up that ward in the bush there. Hotshot and Westrice still doing their dance. Hotshot taking a bit of damage from these Corki missiles, and there's a lot of damage on his tower right now. But now that the minion wave is gone, Hotshot's willing to maybe cat up and get out, but it doesn't look like he's going to stay there. He's going to go back.
Well, Hotshot also up in creep score right now, which is a bit of a switcheroo from earlier.
Definitely. Well, once he hit level 6, he was able to farm much better. We see some pings going down, some fallback pings going down around Dragon. It looks like we have seen another Dragon get picked up by Epik, if I'm not mistaken.
Anyway, the Kog'Maw now picking up a few more CS in bot lane. It looks like he's pretty firmly in the lead of this lane at this point. Yeah, he's about 40 CS up. That's a pretty significant difference, but it's being made up for by the fact that Salsi has 150 CS mid to Big Fat LP's 89. Not too surprising. Again, we were talking about that earlier. And looks like Hotshot's just going to go ahead and keep farming up top. No surprise. He will never go back.
No, then there's no reason to. If you don't have to leave, you shouldn't leave. Oddshot now running into the bushes, going to trap that up presumably, or just maybe looking for Westrice. And it looks like just supports are hanging out bottom lane, just making sure things are staying as they should be.
I'm actually surprised with both of these team comps that we haven't seen a tower fall sooner. You know, Hotshot's known for pushing his Nidalee. Mordekaiser, of course, pushes very hard. And Westrice has been doing a pretty hard push as well. And we're going to see the second dragon of the game come up.
Oh, this
now.
is the dragon. I'm sorry. I thought it had gone down earlier. I thought that's what the pings were for. But no, Hotshot's going to take out top turret, but it looks like all of Epik is just going to stay down there and get dragon. And CLG sort of just going to let that happen, it looks like. Oh, no, Vicious is going to go in. Dragon's going to get got. The John ultimate's going to be busted. We're going to see CLG have to back off. It doesn't look like they're going to be able, that trench line almost picking up Chowster there. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to contest that dragon, although they wanted to try, apparently, this time.
Yeah, although that dragon may have cost them 2 turrets. There's another minion wave heading up, and Hotshot does some pretty decent damage, and he's going to get it down to at least probably 1/3 life. So that's the kind of trade that they're making. The last time that CLG played in the ggClassic, they were playing last weekend, and Hotshot played a game as Tryndamere where he literally did not move from top lane the entire game, and while the rest of CLG was fighting 4v5 in mid, he managed to push down an inhibitor by himself simply by not moving out of lane and distracting the other team the whole time. And they got a Baron that way too. So, you know, CLG plays a very different kind of style of metagame than pretty much every other team. There was an AMA on Reddit a few weeks back, or this past week maybe, with Alex Itch of M5, and he was saying, you know, there's basically 2 ways to play right now that we know about, and one of them is the kind of standard meta for Europe and America, and the other way is the way that CLG plays the game. So they've kind of got their own strategy where, you know, they don't buy into the kind of taking of dragon and taking of I mean, they do buy into the taking of Baron, but not so much. You know, they believe very firmly in farming and holding and pushing lanes. And of course, you know, that trade there for Dragon versus the tower was, you know, pretty much even. The only difference is that the towers will always be there in the game, and the Dragon, you know, respawns. There are only as many dragons as teams are able to kill based on that 6-minute timer. So, you know. Indeed. It does give you an advantage if you can come back later and kill the tower if you're the team that killed Dragon.
Right, gold-wise, Dragon is worth more, but I mean, the game, this is ultimately a game about global objectives, and if you push down the enemy's nexus, you win the game. It doesn't matter how much gold the other team has.
Yeah, but the advantage of pushing down a tower gives you, you know, the intangible of map control. So.
Oh, sure. That's the tower benefit. And we see Cassiopeia laughing quite a bit bot lane, so she must... Something must be funny down here. Jana also laughing. So somebody told a joke that we missed, apparently, on stream here.
You know, double. Oh, go ahead.
Vicious and Salsi are just going at it in mid lane. There's just phoenixes and metal shards and things, and just everybody. I mean, but look at them. They're just kind of dancing back and forth, and no one's really taking damage thanks to Turtle Stance and Iron Man, and we're just seeing a little dance of who can farm creeps faster.
Yeah, this has been a very passive game. 20 minutes and only 6 kills. This is very different from some of the other games we've casted this tournament, where in 20 minutes there would be like 25 kills. I'm not joking, guys. We have cast some games like that.
Yeah, it's just some absolutely brutal games where people are just dropping like flies. We're going to see Udyr back into mid lane. Kassadin just sort of wandering from lane to lane at this point, trying to find a place to gank some people. He's teleporting back and forth, not really sure where he's going at this point specifically.
It looks like, I mean, they are just playing so smart. Natnu went again with these CVs. He has CV'd blue every time it's up, right before they take it, to make sure there isn't a Kassadin lurking on the other side of the wall, waiting to come in. And
we have some pings going down on Clacky D now. Hotshot's going to roll in. He's going to put the Ignite down. Kassadin's right there. He's going to get off all of his spells. And then here comes Vicious to help finish it off. He wasn't really needed. We had Hotshot and LP take him out in the jungle. LP getting the blue buff that was on him. So that's a refresh on blue buff for Kassadin. And now we see them both going in on Westrice. Hotshot getting exhausted, but it doesn't matter. LP is there as well, and he's going to have that Rift Lock. There it is. We're going to see Hotshot and LP pick up Westrise as well. Meanwhile, bot lane, we have Nashmi picking up double lift in the skirmish that happened down there. So just all of a sudden, I guess the teams are like, no, we're going to put some more kills on the board since there aren't very many kills out right now. We have LP and Hotshot pushing top as Southie comes to try and stop that, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to.
Yeah, and let's take a look again down at bot lane. You know, Double Lift does have 190 CS compared to 137 of Cassiopeia. So even though Cassiopeia has those 3 kills, you know, those 3 kills are only worth, you know, about 36 to maybe 46 CS. So we can still consider...
Oh, we got another engagement going on. We got Hotshot and Vicious in mid now fighting against LP and... Hotshot, Vicious, and LP against Southie. They were trying to do some wraiths, and it turned into a mid fight as Clacky D came around to try and stop them, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to die, but it was almost a very sticky situation for both teams.
Yeah, and just a little bit more dashing around. You know, it is going to be really hard to get this CLG squad with the Kassadin and the Janna and the Nidalee and the Udyr into a team fight. You know, the one person you can kind of hope to catch out without running away or flashing away or jumping away really quickly is Kog'Maw.
Right, and he's just busy bot lane farming, so they're not going to have that luxury in these mid-game team fights.
Yeah, Kog'Maw already by 21 minutes does have an Infinity Edge, a Berserker's Greaves, a 2 Doran's Blades, and a Vampiric Scepter. That is quite a build for this point in the game.
Indeed it is. He's rather stacked. The Infinity Edge is going to make him just all the scarier. Whereas right now
gank coming in top lane.
Yes, we do. There is a big gank coming in top lane. Hotshot and LP again with the silence, the teleport, the slow. Hotshot getting the kill this time. Westrise is now officially unable to escape the 2 of them, and they seem to be rolling together at this point. So that's really dangerous.
Yes, this is a really vicious combination, and I haven't seen CLG run the Nidalee Kassadin combo before, but man, it is looking vicious.
It certainly is. Not some mid lane's looking a little vicious as well. St. Vicious holding the mid tower against both Nashmi and Southie. They're looking a little nervous, like they don't want to get ganked, which is a real issue against Kassadin Nidalee team. So they're going to back off and let Vicious clean that up. There's some pings going down. It looks like Southie is moving towards red.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Epic's doing right now. They're going to let Double Lift go ahead and take this tower. Looks like he'll have no problem doing it with that early Infinity Edge. And he's just going to continue farming. He's up to about 210. Very impressive. Although, again, Cassiopeia does have that kill, so it is a little more even. And Hotshot
decides he wants red. He is going to get CC'd by Nautilus a great deal. The Dredge Line's going to miss, though, which means Hotshot's going to be able to get out without really worrying too much about it.
Well, you see, he has completed that Trinity Force, and he will be moving quite fast, 446 move speed right now, so it will be hard to kind of control him, especially with the lack of hard CC on Epic's team.
Yeah, we have a 5-man push mid here for Epic. They're just going to run down Big Fat LP's throat, pushing that mid turret down with no contestation, and they're going to go for a second mid turret. Hotshot's top, but Epic and doesn't seem to be moving from it. As you talked about earlier, Hotshot loving to just push top away, and he's going to go straight for the inhib turret. And I think Epic knows that, and they're going to get back on him. Cassiopeia, Nashmi getting slowed a lot. Some shots going down from Kog'Maw as Kassadin also lays down some combo. They're just trying to distract Epik at this point from Hotshot just doing some dirty work up there, top lane, just going to town on that tower.
And this is so confusing the way they play because, you know, they're making them choose right now between, well, I thought they were going to go ahead and push down this relatively low mid turret, but they might be just going for Baron. They're just going to go ahead and Baron after tricking Westrise back to top. Wow.
Yeah, CLG just going straight for Baron. Double lift with that Infinity Edge, and his Bio-Arcane Barrage is going to be able to do a lot of damage. They're going to get CV'd, and they're going to have to back off for fear of Cassiopeia ultimate. But CLG just really, they're going to play their game the way they want to play it. Epic has so far not been able to stop them from doing that.
Yeah, this is exactly the playstyle that I was seeing last time they played. You know, they make their opposing teams make very difficult decisions, and they're coming back for Baron again.
Because why not? If you can do Baron once, you can do Baron twice. And now they see we're going to get Cassiopeia coming in. We're not going to do Baron this time. but we're gonna keep trying to do Baron until you stop us or we kill you, is what CLG seems to be saying right now.
And Hotshot moving back to top lane, he's creating so many problems. You know, it's going to be really difficult to duel Nidalee with the Trinity Force, especially for Westrice. You know, he just doesn't have the tankiness in order to handle Nidalee. So, you know, it's going to be really hard. They're going to have to send somebody besides Westrice up there to take care of this cat problem that they're having.
Unfortunately, he also lacks the damage that Kog'Maw has because he doesn't have an Infinity Edge. He just has a Phage, 2 Dorans, and a Sheen. So he's not packing the punch that Kog'Maw is, and he's not tanky enough to fight Nidalee otherwise. So really, Hotshot can just do whatever he wants top lane, virtually unopposed.
That's right. I mean, that's really, really terrifying. You know, Hotshot does have that 139 armor now, what's with the Ninja Tabby and his rune page, I imagine, especially in that Cougar form, he's going to get at those extra stats as well. So really looking kind of grim, I think, for Epik. I don't know what they can do with their team comp, you know, especially because Nautilus is so slow.
Mm-hmm. They're picking up Dragon right now, and CLG pinging, or excuse me, Southie's pinging Baron to let everyone know, hey guys, CLG's not on the map. They're probably at Baron while we're at Dragon. Unfortunately for them, they are, well, either, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but they weren't correct. CLG was not doing Baron at that point, so now Epik just sort of at Baron. I think they might try for it this time.
Yeah, and it looks like they are going to give it a try, and I'm not sure, we'll have to see how this team fight goes. You know, this is not, I don't think, what CLG wants to do with this team comp. You know, they don't want a 5v5 team fight.
No, they don't, and it doesn't look like they're going to have one because Epic's going to back off. You know, I think that says a lot that the way the game has been psychologically so far. They're going to make Epik back off, even though all of CLG is not there. Doublelift taking out that mid turret, and LP going into burst just in case someone was there. We're going to see a big push coming in, and this might be our first actual potential engagement as Hotshot is going to leave mid lane and go back top.
I can't say I'm too surprised. Hotshot again farming up. He has eclipsed Westrice's Corki by just a little bit, but Corki is 1-4-0 to Hotshot's 2-1-2, so we are going to see a gold differential there. And again,
there's Nautilus dredge lining St. Vicious in the jungle. We're going to have LP there with him, and he's not going to be able to do a whole lot. We're going to see the flash over the wall. Vicious is just going to be inside of Dragon. And so we're going to see some of CLG going back, Chaucer going back as well. LP just hanging out mid, and it looks like Epic's going to move towards Baron again.
Well, I think the other scary thing is that St. Vicious has more than double Nautilus's farm.
Oh man, and that is scary. The St. Vicious on Udyr right now, he's got Randuin's, he's almost got an Aegis, he's got his Wit's End, so yeah, that's pretty scary. And CLG definitely knows that Epik is doing Baron. So we have Hotshot and Westrice deciding to go at it a little bit. Westrice decides he finally wants to get in and fight Nidalee. We have the Cassiopeia ultimate going down on LP. He's going to have to flash. There's a lot going on. Nautilus ultimate on LP as well. We're going to see Cassiopeia and Caston both go down. And there's a bunch of team fights. We got the dredge line going in on Doublelift who's going to explode. We're going to see Clacky D get taken out by Hotshot. We're going to see Hotshot jump in and do a bunch of damage. St. Vicious in there popping Randuin's. We have 2 kills. Looks like St. Vicious might. Nope. St. Vicious is going to flash the wall with the turtle stance. Westrice going in. He's going to get. There's an Ignite going to go down. Not going to be enough. We're going to see 2 kills on CLG and 1 kill on Epic Gamer. And Epik is going to try for Baron, it looks like, or they're going to back out. It looks like they're going to back out. Oh, excuse me, there were 2 kills on Epic Gamer as well. Pardon me, we just have a Kog'Maw ghost.
Yeah, a little confusing there, but it's that was a surprisingly even team fight. But you could see, you know, as they had to get out there and flash over the wall, that CLG would not have been equipped to actually finish that fight. Epik was looking in much better shape, and they knew that they had to go. But with their mobility, they didn't have too many problems escaping.
No, and that's the thing, you know, with Mordekaiser, when Mordekaiser gets a ghost, it's really scary, and when Mordekaiser gets a ghost of your carry, it's extremely bad. So, Mordekaiser still being alive, picking up that Kog'Maw ghost, the worst thing possible for CLG in that situation.
And they're going to go for Baron again. Now they saw that Cassiopeia and Mordekaiser were bot lane, and this, I don't know if they can stop them now.
I don't think that that's possible. We're going to see an attempt, though. We're going to have to try Westrice and Clacky D and Nat and Win coming in. We're going to see everyone here except Johnny, who comes in from behind. The Baron attempt is officially going to stop. I don't know why. It's going. We got Doublelift trying to make it so it keeps it from healing by a couple auto attacks, but the Baron attempt now stopped officially. St. Vicious going in, taking out wards there. So we're going to see potential scuffle here at CLG's blue buff. There's Mashme laying down that poison trail, and his ultimate is back up. So, oh man, Caston laying down quite a bit of damage with the assistance of Kog'Maw. Soraka's heal going down on Mashmi. So there's more ults. There's Cassiopeia ultimate going down on St. Vicious, going to hit Hotshot as well, but it's only going to catch the two of them. And here we go, there's a big team fight going on. We got a bunch of flashing, we got more catching us on Hotshot. There we go, Big Fight LP is going to take out Slacky D. Hotshot's going to be alive, and John is going to get St. Vicious out of that fight. Very well done. Hotshot and St. Vicious both. Choster having to run out. I think he's going to get taken out. So we have a 1-for-1. We're going to see Nautilus for, we're going to see Clacky D for Choster in that fight. All of CLG very low, but also thanks to that mobility that they have, they were all able to make it out. You know, I think what really helped in that team fight for CLG's sake, Mashmi did that Cassiopeia ult, but only barely got St. Vicious, and Hotshot only got slowed, I think. So there was not a whole lot that came out of that ultimate.
I have to say, I am super surprised right now that Epik is going back to base instead of taking Baron.
Yeah, they were all relatively high HP.
They were all very high HP, and that's the problem, is that the CLG team just can't fight these team fights. And, you know, even though St. Vicious is up a lot in terms of kills and, well, he's the same number of kills, one more assist, but in terms of farm, he's up at 233 and over 106, and that's going to make a big difference as he does have that Randuin's Omen. Meanwhile, we just, you know, Nautilus has not very many items, honestly, compared to what St. Vicious has at this point. You know, they both have that Aegis, but the Wit's End and the Randuin's Omen is going to be huge.
It's huge in team fights. Well, as you saw, St. Vicious actually was able to Randuin in the middle of that team fight, and that helped like half of his team escape, get out of that. So
yeah, I have to say, you know, I think the one thing that's held Epik back even further in these team fights and has prevented them from actually taking an advantage is that Mashmi has had pretty poor ults from Cassiopeia. He's only hit one person each of the last 2 times, and he's initiated too early, so that, you know, last time he hit St. Vicious, but they hardly laid down any damage on St. Vicious before he was out running around again. And
I think St. Vicious Turtle Shield absorbed all of it.
Yeah, it was not a good.
We have Hotshot going in on Westride's top lane. He's going to throw down the Ignite, and he's going to get right in on that, but it looks like he's not going to be willing to chase him into turret. But Hotshot, it wasn't really after that, it doesn't look like. He just wanted to push top lane, I think.
Yeah, and Hotshot now building a Wit's End to deal with this double AP that we're seeing from Mordekaiser and Cassiopeia, so smart move there.
Definitely. We're going to see Hotshot continue to push top lane as a bunch of things happen around Epic's blue buff. So most of Epik now by blue, they're all sort of rotating top towards Hotshot, who is pushing top lane again.
Yeah, I mean, we are seeing some relatively good vision here from both teams. So they both have a lot of wards, and I'm kind of surprised. You know, they've purchased several oracles. St. Vicious has had this oracles pretty much the entire game.
He hasn't died.
He hasn't died at all, and he got an early oracles. I'm confused. He just saw that ward, but he didn't kill it. Oh, he's going back now. He's doubling back. I think he was looking at something else. I was about to say that it was some sort of complex psychological strategy to draw them into bottom lane, but unfortunately, we're not going to. Well, Hotshot pushes top, but
Hotshot still pushing top. He now has 244 CS.
Yeah, and, you know, they still make him choose. And every little poke that they do here on these lanes, they get a little more damage on turret, and then they run away. A little more damage on the turret, and then they run away. I mean, it's quite amusing, and I'm not sure how. I mean, Epic's going to have to change their strat and get some really good initiation if they see CLG pulling these tricks again, because that's the reason why they haven't been able to lock down CLG.
Yeah, definitely. And you see Hotshot now with his Wit's End and his Triforce deciding he might want to try to duel Mordekaiser, but he changes his mind, going to back out. We're going to see a lot of fallback pings on that bot turret, and there we go. CLG taking out another outer turret in bot lane this time. So this dual pushing thing with Nidalee and the rest of CLG in the opposite lane really starting to make a big difference.
Yeah, and I actually think that we are going to see a Baron, a successful Baron here from Epik. They are pinging it, and they know that CLG was focused in bot lane and is just all blue-pilled, so it'll be a matter of how soon they could get their team together in order to go, and they are going to get there, so we'll see. There's going to be another Baron dance. This is the most damage I've ever seen done to Baron with no one getting it.
That's true. Baron has just been taking all sorts of damage, and here comes CLG. Baron now at half life, so we're going to see a lot of damage going down. Vicious is just going to run in there with his oracles, and we're going to see a smite steal. St. Vicious runs up and steals Baron right out from under Epic Gamer. That was ridiculous. We have Hotshot is going to take a bunch of damage from all of that. He's going to get CC'd. Vicious going in to save him, popping the Randuin's. Kog'Maw's going to pick up a kill on Mordekaiser. And there's Clacky D getting taken out by Hotshot and Vicious. We're going to see the Kog'Maw ultimate and a humongous move by CLG, stealing Baron, scoring the ace. What a play!
What a play indeed. A perfect ace from CLG after stealing that Baron. And especially at that level of ping, I think that Claky D probably, his smite is still up, by the way. I think he's probably sitting there with his head in his hands with that gray screen from his death. I mean, and honestly, like, St. Vicious got a lot of flack this last week from the OGN LOL tournament. His team was doing Baron, and they managed.
And that's a surrender vote, right?
And he managed to screw up smiting the Baron and got it stolen from him, and that really turned the game around, and they lost and put them kind of on the ropes in Korea for the OGN LOL League. And wow, what a redemption there from St. Vicious on that steal. Even though Cassiopeia had ulted him and frozen him, I thought he was actually outside smite range when he had been frozen. But man, whoa, what a game. St. Vicious MVP for sure.
What a play. That's everything everyone ever wants to do when they try to smite steal Baron, is exactly what just happened right there.
Unbelievable.
That was fantastic. What a game one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get ready and do game two here after everyone has picked their jaws up off the floor from that ridiculous smite steal. Wow, what a game. What well played by both teams, and that just what a great end to a fantastic match.
Yeah, indeed. And I'm going to have you, once you get in this game, if you wouldn't be so kind as to check out some of these room pages. I'm actually curious as to what Salsi was running on Mordekaiser that game, if he was doing the Skara Spellvamp Quince or not.
Salsi, let's see, his rune pages. Mr. Lane, the name of this one, I don't know that. Let's see, we have
I imagine that Mordekaiser sounds like Mr. Lane.
It does, but he has a page titled AP, which has health, magic pen, mana regen per 5. That's not the one for Mordekaiser. Flat AP, which is just flat AP with some mana regen. He's got APS, magic pen, that's mana regen, more ability power. King Kennen, it might be his King Kennen page that he runs. No, there's energy regen in there, as you said earlier. V, he has health at level 18, magic pen, AP at level 18, and flat AP in that rune page. Manaless magic pen, he's got a page titled that with some armor, some magic resist, some health. Okay, so it could be that one. He's got an HP page, has mana regen. He's got this page has mana regen. Mr. Lane does have mana regen, probably not running that on Mordekaiser. He's got, oh no, the rune page. That's definitely not the one. Mr. Vlad, he might be running the Mr. Vlad page with Magic Pen, MR, Health. That could have been it. Rumble has Magic Pen, Ability Power, and Armor. That's all that's on that page. Support Chololol probably wasn't that one. He's got Bruiser, WTF. Armor Pen, no, not with the Armor Pen. An Oriana page with Mana Regen. He's got a Rise page with Mana, and he has an AD page. So he's not running Spellvamp Quince in any of his pages, turns out.
Interesting. Well, I guess I was wrong then. Of course, I didn't check the stats on that, so sorry about that, guys. I should have checked it in game for you, showing it up on the old screen, but we'll get that for you next time. And in the meantime, we are now in Champ Select for Game 2, so I'm going to go ahead and switch over so you guys can see.
Not surprisingly, an Udyr ban coming out of Epic Gamer. We do not want that to happen again. Udyr Rise, Shen being the first ban from CLG. I'm not the only person I've ever seen play Shen in pro level since his remake. I know he wasn't the only one at Hanover, but Hotshot's the only one I've seen play him. So I'm not sure if there's an Epic Shen player on Epic. But there might be, who knows. The Shen was banned. Kennen also banned. Not a surprise there. We don't want to see Salsi running that. Rise being the second ban for Epic Gamer. And, you know, in that last match, I think really the biggest potential problem for CLG would have been Mashmi's Cassiopeia. Unfortunately,